Hello, I'm back. This is Membran, and welcome again to my teaching channel where learning is fun and simple. All right, so today we will be learning about the distributive property. We already have the associative property of multiplication, commutative property of multiplication, and now we're going to have, I'm sorry, and now we're going to have the distributive property of multiplication over addition. All right, sometimes when we are given multiplication equations that are too big for us to even um think about, oh, how could I answer that question? How could I do that multiplication equation? Well, sometimes there is a way how to, and distributive property will always help you how to. All right, I'm sharing with you my file so we will help each other. I am going to have my layout with, okay, I think I am going to have a brighter, nope, it's not even good. All right. It's not even good too. All right, I'll just do this one. That would be better. Sorry, I'm just trying to explore a lot of other things online. All right, so my channel is Membrance Teaching Channel. I will be adding more and more as we go. So today's lesson is about the distributive property of multiplication over addition. All right. Let me give you some insights about the distributive property. I know that in my past teaching of math, I found out that there are some kids who have a little bit of, or they're struggling about how to, or which number am I going to split. So to simplify complex mental math, distributive property is here for you. It helps you develop algebraic fluency. So this is already something about groupings, algebra, parentheses, braces, bracket, and build a conceptual understanding of multiplication as area. So, what are we going to do? You break up large, difficult multiplication problems into manageable, so the word is manageable, smaller parts, acting as a foundation for simplifying algebraic expressions. Okay, now let's move to the next one. Our learning target is simple. I can use the distributive property to break apart a bigger number or factor into a smaller partial products, okay? So there's products means two, to find the total product. So that's my favorite tops. I don't know where that is now. Okay, so that's our learning target. So today's lesson, here are some of the concepts that we will always put in mind. Break the big number, share the love or share the number, and then add the partial products. All right. Here is my first equation. I think I have only two or three equations. All right, so concept one, partial product. Partial product, that is not the total yet. And then concept two is to break apart. Okay, so those are the two concepts that we are learning right now. Okay, so let's start. Our first equation is 4 times 9. Which one is bigger? So now you have the choice. Which one is bigger? 4 or 9? It's literally 9. Okay, so we're going to work on that. I'm going to minimize my screen and show you how this works. All right, so because we are thinking about 9 as a bigger number, so we're going to split, break apart. split it into 2. Now, think of two numbers that you add becomes 9. There are several of them. There are several of them. So maybe you are thinking of another number, but I am thinking of 5 and 4. Okay, maybe you're thinking of 6 plus 3. And maybe two you are thinking about 8 plus 1. But 8 is still a bigger number. So that's a big number. You probably are, it's not manageable. All right. For somebody who is just starting to learn multiplication, 8 is a big number. All right. Maybe some of you are also thinking about 3 plus 6. All right. 6 is still a big number. So I chose 5 plus 4. So I am going to put my grouping symbol. So now I have already break apart. Okay. So now I am going to write, I'm going to drop 4 here. And I should erase this and put a different different color. So I'll choose blue. All right. So I'm going to write 4. You copy this. 4 times. So now you're already done, but not done and not over yet. So now you have, you break apart. Now you're going to share love. To share love, I'm going to put purple. So I am going to multiply 4 and 5. And I will also multiply 4 and 4. Okay, so I'm going to change my color again so that it will, you know what step we are now. So I have shared the love. I have shared the number 4. I shared it when I am going to multiply 4 times 5. I'm going to group that in one symbol. And then, don't forget this. Plus, now I'll change again to green. 4, remember, you distribute this one. 4 and 4. 4 times 4. Now, so I already shared the love. And then the next thing is, we say that add the partial products. These are the partial products. This is the partial products. Not, you have not had the partial products. So 4 times 5 is how many? I will use black this time. All right, 4 times 5 is 20. Oh no, 20. I'll erase that one. Oh my, I put my numbers too big. All right, 20 plus, what is 4 times 4? Is 16. Now 20 plus 16, of course you have to work on it this way. You do not work on it horizontally. All right, you put all the place values. Ones and ones is 6. So you're going to add, remember? And then 2 plus 1 is 3. So now your answer, 20 plus 16 is 36. So now 4 times 9 is equal to 36. That is the distributive property. Easy, right? It's very easy. Okay, now if you have done that, we're going to move to the next one. The second equation is 3 times 5. All right, I'm going to use orange this time. 3 times 15. I'm sorry, I think I said 5. All right, so we literally and obviously 15 is bigger than 3. So you have to break apart 15. I'm going to use red this time to break apart 15. So what numbers can you add will yield 15? That means two numbers that you can add and will become, or the sum is 15. I am thinking of 10 and 5. Maybe you're thinking about, oh, you said earlier you're going to have a smaller number. So, you know why I choose 10 and 5 is because 10 is easier to manipulate. All right? 10 is easier to manipulate. You can see 10 times 2, 20. 10 times 3, 30. 10 times 4, etc. So it's very easy. That's why I chose 10. So now I am going to have plus sign here. Where they crump. Where they crump is because probably I'm trying to, I'll erase everything. All right, I'll erase the plus sign. I'll erase this. And I am going to change to red. All right, so 10 and 5. And I am going to have green as my plus sign. So now 10 plus 5. And so we are going to have also our 3 times 10 plus 5. That is your breaking apart. So you broke apart. You have broken them together apart already. Some of you might be thinking 8 plus 7. They are still big numbers and they are difficult to find solution to. Some of you might say 9 plus 6, and 9 is a big number. So 10 is manageable. So always think about what number is manageable to you. So now I am going to share the love. And to share the love, I am going to have 3 times 10 and 3 times 3. So I'm going to write it down here. But I am going to use black. All right, so you have 3. Always remember your grouping symbol. 3 times 10, grouping symbol, and then green plus, so you will not get lost, and then black again, 3 times 3. All right? Okay, so 3 times 10 is how many? I'll use red this time. 3 times 10, partial product is 30. Remember, 10 plus 10 plus 10 is 30. Or simply, that will be our next in the future, we will have how do you multiply numbers by tens? Okay, so 30, um, 3, I'm sorry, that is not 3. See, you have to be very clear. This is 5. So, 3 times 5 is this one. 3 times 5 is 15. So now you have 30. Do not be overly confident adding them horizontally. Always arrange them in a straight line like this or vertically. 0 plus 5 is 5. 3 plus 1 is 4. Okay, so 30 plus 15 is equals to 45. Therefore, 3 times 15 is 45. Now, in your case, because you're using a pencil, that would mean, oh, that's fine. But don't forget, put arrows when you are sharing the love and put your parentheses so you will not get lost when you are finding the partial products. Just like me, I got confused of this. I was the one who wrote it, but I got confused. So you be careful. Math is an exact science. One digit farther, that's wrong. All right, so it's 45. 3 times 15 is equals to 45. All right, are you ready? Okay, now we will have another one. 5 times 7. Obviously, 7 is bigger than 5, and 5 is manageable, right? So think about that. I can manage 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, and so on. So it's very easy. Now break apart. First rule, first step, break apart 7. What are numbers that you can add and it becomes 7? I am thinking of 3 and 4. I did not like, so you might ask again, why not 5 and 2? Well, 5 is bigger. Why not 6 and 1? Well, 6 is bigger. All right, so think about the manageable one. All right, now I will have 5, so I have already broke apart. Now I will write 5 times this should be in a parenthesis. So your equation is already plot. Now you have, the next thing to do is you're going to have share the love. So you have 5, multiply it to 3, and 5 is again multiplied to 4. Now form your, I have to make my, all right, now form your partial products. So 5 times 3 would be the first one. 5 times 3, green, you have the green, so you will not forget it. Okay, plus, and then turn back to blue. Follow this, 5 times 4. 5 times 4. Close parenthesis. So now you have already the equation for your partial products. 5 times 3, work it out. 5 times 3 is 15. Plus 5 times 4 is 20. And again, use your vertical numbers. 15 plus, another reminder is when you are doing math, please do not rush. So 5 plus 0 is 5. 1 plus 2 is 3. So 15 plus 20 is 35. Okay? So therefore, 5 times 7 is 35. Bravo, bravo. We got it. We got it. So distributive property is not really that hard. It is not hard as long as you follow the steps. Break apart, share the love, add the partial products, and then you have the total products, the total of the partial products. All right? I think our general idea here is to solve multiplication problems with large factors that we can break apart the bigger factor to smaller numbers and then add the partial product. And that's what we were doing. And I have one last equation for you, dear friends. Solve this equation and send me your answer through the comment section. This is 3 times 13. Anybody who can submit the first one, who can show me how she worked on it on the comment section, gets $5. All right, I will send it to you in any ways. All right, so that is your equation. 3 times 13. Remember the ideas that we have learned today. Break apart the big number, the big factor. Break it apart and then share. Multiply 3 to 2 of this partial sum, or I mean addends. And then find the partial products, add the partial products, then you're done. Okay? All right, that's all.
Hopefully you can use the distributive property when multiplying big numbers. Thank you.
Yes. I think you have. I would invite you again to subscribe to my channel. It is Members Teaching Channel. Thank you so much, and I hope you understood our lesson today. It is always made easy for you guys. Thank you, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Bye.